English in Health and Medical. Overview of the human body. 1. Structure and operation mechanisms.
Anatomy. Anatomy. Physiology. Physiology. Histology. Histology. Embryology. Embryology. Cells create tissues. Tissues create organs. Organs create organ systems. Many systems and mechanisms interact in order to maintain homeostasis, with safe levels of substances such as sugar, iron, and oxygen in the blood.
Body cavities.
Dorsal body cavity. Dorsal body cavity. Cranial cavity. Cranial cavity. Vertebral cavity. Vertebral cavity. Ventral body cavity. Ventral body cavity. Abdominopelvic cavity. Abdominopelvic cavity. Thoracic cavity. Thoracic cavity. Superior mediastinum. Superior mediastinum. Pleural cavity. Pleural cavity. Pericardial cavity. Within the mediastinum. Pericardial cavity. Within the mediastinum. Abdominal cavity. Abdominal cavity. Pelvic cavity. Pelvic cavity.
Composition.
The human body is composed of elements including hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, calcium and phosphorus. These elements reside in trillions of cells and non-cellular components of the body. The adult male body is about 60% total body water content of some 42 liters, 9.2 imp gal, 11 US gal. This is made up of about 19 liters of extracellular fluid, including about 3.2 liters of blood plasma, and about 8.4 liters of interstitial fluid, and about 23 liters of fluid inside cells. The content, acidity and composition of the water inside and outside cells is carefully maintained. The main electrolytes in body water outside cells are sodium and chloride, whereas within cells it is potassium and other phosphates.
Cells.
The body contains trillions of cells, the fundamental unit of life. At maturity, there are roughly 30 trillion cells, and 38 trillion bacteria in the body, an estimate arrived at by totaling the cell numbers of all the organs of the body and cell types. The skin of the body is also host to billions of commensal organisms as well as immune cells. Not all parts of the body are made from cells. Cells sit in an extracellular matrix that consists of proteins such as collagen, surrounded by extracellular fluids. Cells that line surfaces exposed to the outside world or gastrointestinal tract, epithelia, or internal cavities, endothelium, come in numerous shapes and forms, from single layers of flat cells, to cells with small beating hair, like cilia in the lungs, to column-like cells that line the stomach. Endothelial cells are cells that line internal cavities including blood vessels and glands. Lining cells regulate what can and cannot pass through them, protect internal structures, and function as sensory surfaces. Stem cells. Stem cells. Bone cells. Bone cells. Blood cells. Blood cells. Muscle cells. Muscle cells. Fat cells. Fat cells. Skin cells. Skin cells. Nerve cells. Nerve cells. Endothelial cells. Endothelial cells. Sex cells. Sex cells. Pancreatic cells. Pancreatic cells. Cancer cells. Cancer cells.
Genome.
Cells in the body function because of DNA. DNA sits within the nucleus of a cell. Here, parts of DNA are copied and sent to the body of the cell via RNA. The RNA is then used to create proteins, which form the basis for cells, their activity, and their products. Proteins dictate cell function and gene expression. A cell is able to self-regulate by the amount of proteins produced. However, not all cells have DNA. Some cells such as mature red blood cells lose their nucleus as they mature. Chromosome. Chromosome. chromatin, chromatin. Nucleosome, nucleosome. Deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. Deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. Histone, histone. Double helix, double helix. Structure of the genome, structure of the genome. Light micrograph of a set of male chromosomes clearly showing the X and Y chromosomes. 22 pairs autosomes, 22 pairs autosomes. 1 pair sex chromosomes, 1 pair sex chromosomes. Human genomic variation, human genomic variation. Nucleus, nucleus.
Tissues.
The body consists of many different types of tissue, defined as cells that act with a specialized function. The study of tissues is called histology and is often done with a microscope. The body consists of 4 main types of tissues. These are lining cells, epithelia, connective tissue, nerve tissue and muscle tissue. Types of tissue. Blood vessels, blood vessels. Nerve, nerve. Muscle, muscle. Joint tissues, joint tissues. Fat and deep skin tissue, fat and deep skin tissue.
2. Overview of organ systems in humans.
There are 11 distinct organ systems in human beings, which form the basis of human anatomy and physiology. The 11 organ systems: the respiratory system, digestive and excretory system, circulatory system, urinary system, integumentary system, skeletal system, muscular system, endocrine system, lymphatic system, nervous system, and reproductive system. There are other systems in the body that are not organ systems. For example, the immune system protects the organism from infection, but it is not an organ system since it is not composed of organs. Some organs are in more than one system. For example, the nose is in the respiratory system and also serves as a sensory organ in the nervous system. The testes and ovaries are both part of the reproductive and endocrine systems.
3. Basic functions of parts of some organ systems.
Digestive system. Stomach, where food is broken down. Liver, part under the right ribs, helpful in detoxification. Intestine, internal organs that look like tubes, which are responsible for breaking down the food and making energy from it. Kidneys, filter blood to remove waste. They create urine. Bladder, stores urine, releases it from the body. Pancreas, produces ferments from food and helps regulate blood sugar. Spleen, filters blood, part of the immune system. Esophagus, tube connecting the mouth to the stomach, transports food. Gallbladder, stores bile, helps in fat digestion. Respiratory system. Lungs, responsible for breathing. They exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide. Throat, the front part of the neck that helps you swallow, breathe, and talk. Trachea, the windpipe, connects the throat to the lungs. Bronchi, air passages in the lungs, connect the trachea to the lungs. Diaphragm, muscle under the lungs, helps in breathing by contracting and relaxing. Alveoli, tiny air sacs in the lungs, where oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange occurs. Nostrils, openings in the nose, allow air to enter and exit. Larynx, voice box, produces sound for speech. Pharynx, throat area, passage for air and food. Pleura, membranes surrounding the lungs, protect and cushion the lungs. Circulatory system. Heart, pumps blood throughout the body, the central organ of the circulatory system. Arteries, carry blood away from the heart. They supply oxygenated blood to the body. Veins carry blood to the heart. They return deoxygenated blood from the body. Capillaries, tiny blood vessels that connect arteries and veins and enable nutrient exchange. Aorta, the main and largest artery, carries oxygenated blood from the heart to the body. Pulmonary artery carries blood from the heart to the lungs. It's deoxygenated. Pulmonary vein carries oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart. Plasma, the liquid part of blood, carries cells and proteins. Red blood cells carry oxygen to the body, contain hemoglobin. White blood cells fight infections, part of the immune system.